All right, let's bring it back here to the U of M football situation as we take a live look at the big house right now. It's getting more interesting by the day. Everyone glued to the sign stealing scandal and if it will eventually impact head coach Jim Harbaugh. But it all starts with staffer Connor Stalions, who resigned this week. Here to make sense of it all for us, it's Derek Hutchinson, lead digital editor for ClickOnDetroit.com. You write all of our U of M, our Lions coverage. Derek, it's good to see you. When you have watched this story change, I feel like Monday morning, okay, where do things stand right now?
You say I'm here to make sense of it. I don't know if anybody can really make sense of this.
I think I may be channeling, please, Derek, please come here to make sense of this all.
So what everybody wants to know right now is Michigan, and more specifically Harbaugh, going to face any immediate sort of punishment?
And this would come from the big. This would come from
it would theoretically come from the Big Ten. The NCAA is investigating, but you know how that could take months.
It could take years.
Yeah, who knows? Harbaugh might be gone by then. But so right now the question is, will the Big Ten try to punish Michigan with a suspension this season? So really, can they prove that Jim Harbaugh did anything to warrant a suspension? Because right now Michigan is sort of united in saying, if you are going to come after us and try to make it a suspension, you better do it through the proper channels.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, when we look back at the staffer, Connor Stalions, who has resigned and said that nobody else knew about what he was doing, what do we exactly know that what he was doing?
Well, we know that we can be pretty sure that Michigan broke rules and definitely violated the spirit of the scouting rules. Mm-hmm. What's not clear is the scope of what went on and who knew. There's a big difference between a low-level analyst breaking rules and Jim Harbaugh, theoretically directing someone to break rules. So right now it's will the Big Ten move forward with a suspension, because the Big Ten commissioner does have the ability to do that. But Michigan has told them that we are willing to fight this, through the proper channels.
It's interesting because I feel like I'm reading a lot of things like that. Well, everyone kind of does this. Is that true within the Big Ten? And it's like, well, there's a really fine line about that.
Everyone does this. Might be. I don't know if anybody buys tickets and goes to games with binoculars, but I think there's probably a lot of skeletons in a lot of closets. Everybody knows that about college football. So the question is, these Big Ten coaches are very outraged and they want blood, obviously, right now. And so that's why the Big Ten commissioner went to Ann Arbor, spoke with the president, and they wanted Michigan to self-impose a suspension of Harbaugh. And Michigan was ready. They said, no, we're not going to do that. We need you to go through, the protocol that the conference has set. So now the question is, if the Big Ten goes through those protocols and Michigan is able to share their side of the story, are some of these coaches who are so outraged willing to sort of let Michigan speak on the record and maybe uncover some of the things that they've found? So that's where it gets, it's kind of a standoff.
It's really interesting, too, because Michigan is having this tremendous season right now.
Yeah, and the whole season has sort of been just ticking down to these last couple of games. The first 9 games were sort of, everybody assumed Michigan was going to win. So now it's Penn State week, and you've got questions about, is Harbaugh going to be suspended? What's going on? Is Ohio State involved in this somehow? So we should be talking about like a championship run, and instead, we're talking about this kind of stuff.
All right, Derek, so when you are curating a lot of the information for everything that you're writing for Click On, are there certain sources that you look for? I mean, because again, when we're on X or on any kind of social media and you're seeing all of kind of various reports, tell us how we can kind of parse out what we're really seeing here.
Yeah, the people who follow college football, you know them pretty well. Mm-hmm. The Wall Street Journal report yesterday was something that I read, and I gave it a little bit of credibility. Mm-hmm. So yeah, just make sure on X that you're following the right people, and take everything with a grain of salt, because the way that things have been leaked throughout this whole investigation, it's very strategic, and I think everybody realizes that. And until we really get to hear all sides of the story, I would just take everything for what it's worth.
All right, and read your stuff on ClickOnDetroit.com.
That's right.
Okay, We'll see what the Big Ten is going to do. Thanks so much, Derek. Appreciate it.
Yeah.